think I can safely say that this has been one of the worst weeks I've had in absolutely years. And I'll tell you why. It started off on a bad footing because the week before had been my first week back after a week's off holiday, which means I was extra tired, and I didn't get the proper 2 days off at the end of that. And the reason I didn't is because I swapped days to avoid something at work called the stock take. I was better needed to be in the day before rather than the day of it, which sort of worked out fine. I don't like stock take, so I didn't mind working the day before, but it did mean that I had to swap my days. I didn't have 2 days off in a row. So I started the week extra tired, and there was, you know, a little bit of pressure at work that we wouldn't have had usually. Things got even worse on the Tuesday that I did have off. Usually I have Sunday, Monday off, but stock take was on the Tuesday, so I had Sunday off, Monday on, Tuesday off, and then the rest of the week on. And I seem to have enraged, I think would be a good word to use, some of the people on the forum. There's tensions are running particularly high because the health reform, this American health reform bill has been passed and is becoming law, despite the fact that there are, you know, serious, I think, serious problems with it, and there are a lot of people and a lot of states trying to do things to change it in some way. A lot of the Americans on the forum, you'll know, are Republican rather than Democrat. They're not going to be the sort of people who are in favour at all of most of the things that are included in this bill. I don't think a lot of Democrats are, to be honest with you, but the Republicans certainly aren't. I don't think that that means that you have any particular right to treat other people badly just because you are being stressed, but I can understand it. You know, I think one of the major problems between particularly me and Nathan, the webmaster on the forum, is that I don't need to see something as being, you know, more or less perfect before I can admit to saying, you know, I have love for it. I do this a lot with the US. You know, a lot of people have noticed that I criticise it or whatever. It's not perfect. I'm going to say that. It is not perfect. It is open to criticism. It has done things that are wrong and morally reprehensible. But so has everything. And I think part of loving something is to be able to take it as it is, not to turn it into something perfect by looking through rose-tinted lenses before you do that. You know, there are now topics on the forum that I'm not supposed to engage in. I feel that's a little bit unfair, but there you are. One of them is that very topic, you know, criticising in any way the United States. It's considered anti-American and not what a moderator would do. Now, I've been put in charge, more or less, of the political section because I'm not American, because I have that sort of objective. I can't be siding, you know, with one person because of where I was born. And it just feels like my hands are tied behind my back now. I can't do anything, and it doesn't seem to cover the other party. I mean, it's still all right, I presume, for me to criticise the Democrats. So I just think, you know, okay, I can understand that people are being, in a way, persecuted, or that they feel they are being persecuted. I can understand that. But I do think, you know, as Christians, that persecution it should help us flourish, because we should have the ability to still act in a Christ-like manner, even though we are basically being persecuted, and I don't feel that's the case on the forum, or it hasn't. It hasn't been the case this last week, and you know, I've suffered this before. This sort of thing was what made me resign as the Christian section moderator about 2 years ago, and I don't know really what I'm going to do there. I'm keeping my head down at the moment. I'm just not, you know, not mentioning it. But sooner or later it will come up in a thread, and then it will be crunch time to see whether I hold back on spreading the lies, which they're truths. I mean, you know, it's a generally accepted truth. The US broke international law. Why that would bother somebody who doesn't actually care about international law in the first place, I don't know. But they did by going into Iraq. Whether that's right or wrong is beside the point. You know, there are things like that, and I don't think that saying that makes it anti-American, and I don't think that saying that is something that shouldn't happen from a moderator. So, you know, it's been difficult. The week got even worse when I started to go down with this cold, and the weather has turned dreadful, and then there was a problem with one of my birds that it got its foot caught in some kind of fibres that were coming out of this sprig of millet, and I couldn't, you know, it was hard enough to catch the bird as it was, to try and get, you know, you have to catch it. It's only about that big, it's only about 2 centimetres long, and you have to turn it upside down and cover its head so that it's in the darkness, and then it will not fidget. But then you have to try and unravel whatever fibres have gone around its leg and its claws and its foot, and it was a zebrafinch, and the problem with that is that the zebrafinch feet are only 2 millimetres thick, and the hair, the fibres were the size of hair. It was just a nightmare. So I was worried because this happened on Saturday afternoon when the vets had shut and they wouldn't open until Monday. And I looked online and it said, you know, this happens quite a lot, and it's what leads to disfiguring and, you know, the lack of circulation, and the parts of the feet can, you know, drop off or whatever. However, over the last 2 days, he has managed, Levon has managed to use his own beak and peck it all off. So that's fantastic. It is Holy Week this week, which is going to be another hard time for me because I take the Festival of the Resurrection quite seriously. But we are moving towards Easter and the end of Lent now. It's called Passion Tide. It also is the UFN 21 event this week, so soon after UFC 111. My recap video for 111 will be up, and my prediction video for UFC 21 has been up for quite some time. The only other thing to say is that Douglas Lima, who was a sucker punch fighter, fought Cortez Coleman, who was a hit squad fighter who I met out in the US in the finals of the Red Line Grand Prix this last week. Difficult situation for me because I have met Cortez Coleman and I want nothing but the best for him. But I also support Douglas Lima online. Now Douglas actually won it, so congratulations to him. But you know, commiserations to Cortez Coleman. And I think one of the problems is that as you begin to realise that all these fight camps are almost interlinked and they are eventually going to fight each other, it becomes very difficult to support anyone seriously, because you're always at a conflict of interest. You know, who do I support? And in the end you sort of have to choose one, and that's sort of why I didn't bring it up last week. I didn't mention it because I thought, well, you know, I'll just see how it plays out. I like them both. I wish them both well. You know, congratulations to one, commiserations to the other. You know, and there's not really a lot more I can say, is there?